Hey, good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J, 1999, part of the RSG crew. Welcome, one and all, to our lunch stream. What is a lunch stream, you may be asking? Well, that's just where we hang out with you good folks for the next hour or so, answer some of your questions, do a roster review, and let funny chaos ensue. I brought along some of the crew and a special guest with me today. Let's introduce everybody and get this ball rolling. Of course, you know him, you love him, you hate him, you want to stab him in the throat. It's Dr. Finn Medicine Woman who's here.
Hey, what is this chaos ensue? I resemble that remark.
Well, that's why I said it. You're on timeout. Also joining us, the soulless one, Stanley Red, is here.
TGIF, everyone.
Hey, TGIF indeed. Stanley will be monitoring chat and scooping up all your questions. So if you do have a question for us, go ahead and get it in there. Make sure you put question in front of the statement that you were putting out so that we know it's a question, because sometimes they get missed, because if you don't do that, then we can miss them. Also joining us, Comb Cobra is here.
Damn, muted mic.
Technology's a bitch, isn't it? I know those buttons are hard for you, Chrome, this early in the morning.
Too many buttons. It's too early. It's Friday. What the hell's happening?
I know. And I want to give a special shout out to Comb Cobra because he went on our Amazon fun wish list and got me two of the Dungeons and Dragons books that I need to DM for our Sunday campaign. So I'd like to thank him for that.
Yeah, buddy. You know it.
Much appreciation. And then also we've
Much
got
appreciation to all of you guys. Just want to say thank you from everyone.
Yes, we appreciate it very much. I also want to do a shout out to Mr. Penny Pinch, who has donated $100 the last couple of days, and he's gone out of his way. He doesn't really. He's done it the way he can, and he wanted to support the channel, and so he's done that. And I wanted to give him a special shout out because he's gone. You know, we appreciate all the support we get, but you know, sometimes someone goes a little bit above and beyond. We want to recognize that. So thank you, Mr. Penny Pitch, for all that you do in supporting the channel. So, also joining us, he's back from vacation. No swear daughter or dancing daughter or cussy mother or anything like that, but all the way back from Poland, it's Mr. Mike Hunt.
Dzień dobry.
Yeah.
Yes, he's back.
Yeah. It was quiet while you were away.
Just to give you an alert that I believe Sweary is actually upstairs, and
oh my God,
it must be her birthday's come forward a bit, a few weeks because she's having a bath.
Oh God. Oh well. Come on, Mike. She takes a bath every day. Don't even play. Come on now. That's not even nice. That is your daughter, for God's sakes. I mean, golly.
Yeah.
No wonder she swears at you. You're that mean to her.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And the other one's in Fortaventura.
Fort Ventura. I don't even know what that means. She's on vacation or she's hanging out?
Yeah, she's on vacation in the Canaries.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yes.
And last but not least, we have a special guest. I'm going to let Finity introduce our special guest.
So, from the Twitch stream, Spartan Easy, we have Mr. Spartan Easy himself. Say hi to the peoples.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
I
forgot my line.
This is
Sparta! Good morning. Good morning from California.
Yeah, hey, you know, that's Loki's neck of the woods. That's why when he gets up in the morning, he's eating like a cheese biscuit or something, drinking coffee, like, eh. Not saying that you eat cheese biscuits. I'm just saying that's what Loki does, Mr. Spartan. So
there's nothing wrong with cheese biscuits.
I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe he doesn't like cheese biscuits. I'm not going to.
Do you like cheese biscuits?
I think we call those Danishes.
Oh, okay. See, there you go.
I think so.
That's that West Coast
for me,
influence.
coffee and Monster energy drink.
Hey,
that's my breakfast.
That's a breakfast of champions right there.
That's right. Isn't a biscuit a scone?
No, this is not English. Shut up, Mike.
No. In English, it's a scone, mate.
Yeah, I think what you call it is like the equivalent of like
we
a
don't
roll.
call our fish crisp and all that other crap. So just leave your limey language over there. All right, keep it in England, buddy. All right. All right. So we remember, guys, if you're watching this, make sure you give us a thumbs up for each of the videos. Now, here, cool thing is, we are going to be doing after this. We're going over to Spartan's channel at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Is that when we're doing this?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Yep, and then we're going to go hang out with him for a little bit. So we've been kind of doing that lately with Miss and some other people, and by golly, it was time to get Spartan involved and get involved with Spartan. So we're more than happy to come over there and bring our insanity to the channel. Also, if you could subscribe not only to our channel but to his channel, these guys that come on here and vice versa, they take time out of their schedule to bring you quality content, answer your questions, hang out. Least you could do is subscribe to the channel. It really does help support not only us but these guys as well. Also, if you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do. We're almost at our goal of 300 for our first goal, Finn.
I know. It's really cool and really appreciate all of the support. That's really going to get your internet all stable.
Yeah,
hopefully. Did you rant at Comcast? We have to know.
Oh yes, I went ape shit on him. So, I'm like, what is going on? They don't know what's going on because I got some person that didn't know what the hell's up. I was it's like yelling at.
We just got a new forum update from the devs.
Oh well,
we'll deal with that after the roster review.
Yeah, we'll deal with that then. So, all right. Why is my phone being stupid? Ever since YouTube on the phone when it changed stuff, I really don't like it, Finn, because it does some really weird crap. Like if you hit the chat, like you take it down, you can't bring it back up, and then it just locks up where you don't see the chat at all. It doesn't update. Damn it, YouTube!
Oh, there's a button underneath the window that I think says live chat.
I know, but you can hit the button to change it. But like say I exit out because I want to see like how many thumbs up or anything, and go back. You can't go back to live chat once you close it out on phone. It's no problem if you're on your PC and stuff, but on phone, they really have borked this up. So YouTube Premium, get your crap together. Seriously, we're going to tell people to go get your product. You should at least have the product working. Good God.
That sounds silly.
Yeah, God forbid, right?
I mean, look at the game we're playing.
You know, right? Look, I can expect things. I don't necessarily mean I'm going to get them.
You're unrealistic with your expectations.
Well, I got to have some expectations, damn it. Or just run raw shut over everybody. All right.
Speaking of which, we want hookers and blow.
Yeah, so give us money. I want to get Finn drunk and laid. Let's make that happen, folks.
Are you sure you want to be a part of this, Spartan?
Spartan's like, can I get some of that? Jesus.
Be careful, you might get laid with.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not worried yet.
No, we're not going to do that.
Be careful.
No, we're not going to do that to him. I will quarantine Finn in his own area. All right. All right, let's get to the roster review. Today we are doing Jali's profile, and they're in the Republic. The Republic.
So Jolly actually had a roster review by us before, and he said he's been following our advice since then.
That's
he kind of wanted
right. God damn it.
So what he's looking for now is more in the territory of ships. So he said that he has a ton of ship materials. He hasn't really been paying attention to what's kind of been going on with the meta, and he's trying to figure out where to go with ships, what he should be focused on. So that's his main thing. He's also recently got 7-star Treya.
Oh, look at that. Look, just beautiful. Look at that. Look at that team just kicking ass. See what happens when you listen to RSG? You kick ass. We may be retarded, but we're not that retarded. I'm just throwing that out there.
Just a little retarded.
Oh, yeah. We have a little bit of brain damage. That's because Finn keeps prescribing me these test drugs and they don't work. He's like, I take them.
Well, it's not my fault.
I'm like, well, he is a medical doctor. He says he's taking it. Let me just try this.
Not my fault. You into it? It's all that freaking ranger training. We need to get you like higher dosage than everything else.
I know. You make me that super soldier again.
Yes.
I'm working out, guys. I'm working out every day. I'm doing the 300 workout. I feel like I got run over by a truck. God, that thing is brutal. All right, so let's look at his hit characters. Blasted Biggs. Let's look at this.
Ships.
Ooh, he's got 7 pages of speed mods with speed secondaries.
Ships, Mike, ships.
Yeah, I knew that. Oh, I thought if you were all looking at ships, I would.
No, you get your monkey ass and then you look at ships too, buddy.
Oh, just to point out, of course, where he goes with ships is anywhere, mate. They're ships. You can go anywhere.
So let's take a look. He has, in terms of capital ships, he has a Gear 12 Thrawn, Tarkin, and Akbar. He has a Gear, 9? 8. Gear 8 Mace.
No.
So I do like Endurance. I like it on defense and territory wars. It's not a climbing ship. It's also not a really good defense ship in Fleet Arena. It's really a defensive territory war ship. So something to consider if you want to work on that ship.
He's already working on Lando's Millennium Falcon, looks like, so that's nice.
That's good.
He's got all the ships 7 stars, so I mean, Jesus.
It's a gear on some of the characters too, right? So for example, his Geo Spy is only gear 8.
Mine is too, so don't worry about it, buddy.
Well, if you want to work on a
I know. The best roster, let's just be real, is the Geos. So your best bet, and looking at your roster, you're in a position to do this. Just gear the Geos, get them to gear 10, and you'll be fine, man.
He has Sunfac at gear 12.
Right, so Sunfac's already at gear 12, so just get Soldier and Spy to 10. You can run that roster. Now, there's some debate. Some people like Home 1, some like Executrix. Who you run on your reinforcements is going to depend on that. Spartan, do you agree with that, or are you thinking Ranger's been taking some more of that Finn drugs?
No, I'll go with that. I agree with that. But I still think he's taking the drugs.
Yeah, well, that's the sidebar.
I like Spartan.
But so you can go Executrix or you can go Home 1, and who you run as reinforcements on that.
His Home 1 is farther along based on the little percentage bar.
Sure.
Because it looks like his Home 1's at 84% and his Executrix is at 71. So it looks like maybe he's worked on some more ability.
Yeah, let's just say we're doing Home 1. So we have Home 1 and the 3 Geos as your starting lineup.
TIE Advance for your first reinforcement.
That's always a good one. Or some people like Phantom and Ghost as your first 2 reinforcements off the bench on a Home 1 fleet because of what they do. It's just ridiculous. So you could go... I like TIE Advance more if you're running Executrix because he gets all those bonuses from Executrix and stuff, being an Empire ship.
Yeah, same.
And he doesn't miss.
Yeah, no, God,
he's not like a stormtrooper.
Like a freaking truck. God in heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, but I like Phantom and Ghost more for Home 1. They're really dynamic ships, and they can really do a lot of damage.
And I like Biggs first off the bench.
You could go Biggs, yeah, absolutely.
So, because when you go Biggs first off the bench, right, the next time you can bring in Phantom, and then you bring in Ghost, and you do an AoE target lock. And if your Biggs isn't in your starting lineup, right, the initial kind of burst damage is going on to Sunfac, and you can kind of keep him up. But then afterwards, Biggs comes in, so you bring in this other ridiculous tank. And then if you can bring in Phantom and then Ghost, then you have like more target locks kind of coming in and healing up your Biggs. So it's a really nice combo between those 3, especially under a Home 1 since they're all rebels.
And your last ship on that, you can go Cassian, you can go Poe. Poe coming off the bench if you're really getting to your meat and potatoes of the line. If you're in one of those fights, Poe can come in and really make a difference because it's like his big hit is ridiculous. He really lays pain on someone to just take somebody out immediately.
Another one he could do, which is 7-star, is Plo Koons. So that if he does get hit by, RNG, I mean, when you're running like, it's down to. Is anyone else noticing that you run Geos? I've maxed them all out on their abilities and their evasion and everything, and yet 9 times out of 10, all 3 of my Geos get ability blocked and exposed, and then I do my Tarkin AoE, and they're all like, "Is that it? Yeah, that didn't touch us."
I wonder where we've heard that before. Where the opposing team seems to get the debuffs landing more than yours.
That's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never heard that before in this game ever.
But that's where calling in Plo can be like, haha, up yours. There you go.
Yeah, he's a really amazing ship.
Yeah, I do like Plo Koon as well. It depends how aggressive you want to go, if you want to go offensive or defensive.
I really like going up more offensive with that lineup because, Plo, he's a great ship, but that's a defensive more posture.
You see, I'd say it's more passive aggressive because you call in Plo, you heal everyone, you stick the taunt on Plo, and then your 3 Geos, who are much better now, absolutely wreck.
Well, you could do that way. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go. I just think that Ghost, Phantom, Biggs, you get more bang for your buck with those. But I can see Plo definitely going. I'm not going to argue with you that Plo's ship. I think it's an amazing ship. Especially in the Galactic Fleet. Jesus.
Oh,
that ship is a pain in the freaking butt. I use that on defensive fleets with Mace. Oh, my God. Shit. It's like, aha! I might get these guys. Wait, what's happening? Why is Plo No! He killed them all! No!
Why are they all green and full of protection?
And then you do your green and protection. Then your mace ship goes again, and it's like, all right, that person Plo already taunted. I'm going to taunt him again. This time I'm going to give him more health and protection, and then I'm going to make him crit revoke. It's ridiculous. That team is a pain in the ass to deal with. But yeah, I think that's the route you could go. I mean, you've got all the ships. If you're thinking territory wars, that could be your main offensive ship. You could go regular if you want to save bigs for like a Chimera standard, TIE Advance, TIE Interceptor ship lineup for a second fleet. I mean, you've got ships where you can pretty much mix and match. You could have your Galactic. You put your Galactic Republic fleet on defense, and then have really two sick-ass offensive teams for territory wars for your ship arena, so you can go in and take out two teams and make them have to fight through your really ridiculous Galactic Republic fleet on defense. And then just have a mop-up fleet with whoever. Someone didn't win, but they've got a few ships left. You can go with your last fleet and go clean them up. So I think you're in a really good spot with your ships. I mean, overall, Jolly, your lineup on ships is fantastic. It really is. I mean, anybody else have any thoughts on this?
I mean, so that would be your arena focus, and I'll just kind of go into it again. I think the endurance one is a good one for territory wars only. So again, caveat: territory wars only. On defense, I like the fact that endurance kind of works. You haven't really worked on that one yet, which is fine. Obviously, there's a lot of capital ships. There's only so many resources, despite how many you have. You're trying to pick which capital ships are going to give you kind of the most benefit. And if you're looking for a territory war defensive squad, and there's not much overlap with the squad that we were just mentioning, it's a Galactic Republic with a mace, with an endurance capital ship, with Rex, Umbaran, and Jedi Counselor, with a Plo and a Clone Sergeant coming off the bench. That core really makes it hard to take out the teams very quickly because all of the ships are pretty tanky. You can also replace the Jedi Consular in the starting lineup with a Plo and just go with 3 tanks off the bat. I mean, there's a lot of options with endurance, because endurance is with the Galactic Republic. They're just a very tanky-oriented ship fleet. So if you're looking for something territory war related, that may be something to look at also. That's it.
And if it doesn't work out, just blame Finn. I'm just throwing that out there.
Pretty much.
Ben gave me bad advice. I'm going to kill you.
Spartans. Oh.
All right. So is there anything else he wants? Just ships, right?
He also said he has a 7-star Treya now.
Yeah, we saw that.
And so he wanted an idea on where he can use her in raids without cheesing it and being effective.
You want to cheese it and be effective.
Yeah, for sure. Take advantage.
But I know he's talking about the Critolite team. I mean, without doing Critolite, Phase 2 is where you're going to get your bang for your buck on that. Who would you run, though? I mean, you could run the Triumvirate with Palpatine. Maybe... who would be the 5th on that? Maybe
She's kind of a plug and play, honestly.
Yeah,
at that point.
I can see you doing the Triumvirate with Palpatine and Vader, because you're basically what you're doing is kind of the same thing. Finn had mentioned before. You're just basically dotting the ads, doing your thing, so Nihilus can get his thing, and just annihilating the snot out of Scion, and you can isolate him, do a whole bunch of stuff with Trey and stuff that
can always. Always throw in Hermit Yoda.
You could.
You can.
Because that will just speed up your annihilate and everything by doing that.
Yeah, there's just some combinations.
Keep it going for a bit longer.
Yeah, you go Vader, Hermit Yoda, or Palpatine, Hermit Yoda.
I would go Palpatine, Hermit Yoda. And then the benefit of that is you can then, if some people are using Thrawn instead of Hermit Yoda, if they don't have Hermit Yoda, for example, so your team could be, right now, maybe Emperor Palpatine, Vader, Scion, Nihilus, and a Hermit Yoda or a Thrawn.
Sure.
You could replace that potentially with a Traya, and then have a Thrawn Magma Trooper team that you can use, and separate that from your Imperial Trooper team, if you're keeping that team together, and you can put Magma with Thrawn with like a Range Trooper, for example, and then you can do that if your Range Trooper is ready. So it gives you a little bit more options with that Phase 2 Sith team. That's basically just nothing more than Nihilus feeding for Annihilates.
Yep. All right. So, Jolly, if you have any more questions about ships or anything, you know where to reach us at. We encourage everybody to come to our Discord. We got over 1,000 people in the community strong that will help you answer any of your questions. If you have something specific for us, just reach out to us directly, and we'd be more glad to help you out. All right, let's get to this dang post here. Let me see. You put it in Skype, Finn?
Yep. I
Same
put it in
did.
there.
All right,
Yeah,
let me just copy this and okay, let's copy that. What we're gonna do is come over here. We're gonna put that in paste and go. We're gonna get in here and read this.
Is it about Voltron?
No, I wish, because Harry Carey be going at you. He'd be like, "Hi, everybody! Voltron's in the game. Your thoughts?" That would be his post. All right, this is from CG Salacious B. Crumb. Hi, Holotable Heroes. 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that we were getting ready to reveal some changes coming to the Sith raid based on extensive feedback collected from the players through the forums, Reddit, beta programs, and other channels. Today, I'm pleased to be able to share the broad strokes of these changes with you, and will be providing more specifics as we get closer to the release. One of the resounding points of feedback we have heard from the community is that the raid is still prohibitively difficult and not rewarding enough for players, particularly in tiers 1 through 6. To top it off, on the upper end of those playthroughs, it's taking upwards of a week for some guilds to complete, while many of the guilds who have been doing heroic tier 7 for a while are completing it a couple times a week. While we always want the top end rewards to be the greatest, because they should be commensurate of the effort it takes to play at that level, it has gotten particularly challenging as the effort required in the Sith raid has been higher in the lower tier levels. The two areas we've heard repeated feedback on are A, the randomness of some of the mechanics, thus forcing retries, and B, the balance of effort versus rewards. In order to address randomness and make the experience feel less frustrating while climbing the ranks to heroic, we are removing some of the elements that really make it hard to judge what the AI will do next. For the rewards, we're making some improvements to the value, but also focusing on decreasing the time and frustration it takes to get those prizes, as we believe that will net in significantly more rewards over time. Randomness. The random nature of Phase 1 and 3 can be very time-consuming if you're trying to get the most out of your teams. Oftentimes, it is likely better to restart when Darth Nihilus Annihilates comes off cooldown sooner or later than expected. Other times, Treya's lightsaber buff debuffs randomize in a way that can make your run practically and strategically very difficult to plan around. All of these chances for something to go wrong increase the time commitment and often encourage players to restart until they get the perfect run. This should be the way that you play the raid. We have made a few changes to address the randomness in the Sith raid. Now, while we are focusing primarily on tiers 1 through 6, there is one change we're making to tier 7 to reduce frustration for those players as well. Tier 1 through 7 in Phase 1 and 4. Nihilus kit will be adjusted to be more predictable. Annihilate is such an important ability to strategically aim for in Phase 1 and 4. Ultimately, you want to reduce the chance you get caught unaware by Annihilate and improve the likelihood that you'll be able to use Unbreakable Will at the right time. Tiers 1 through 6 in Phase 3. Reduce randomness on Treya's lightsabers. We want to reduce the feeling that you need to reset a run to get a decent score. For some teams, success against Treya is heavily dependent on which buffs, and by extension debuffs, start on her sabers and who they decide to attack first. We have several ideas on how to solve the issue, but we need to do some additional balance testing before making our final decision. We think these changes should significantly reduce the feeling of needing to restart. On to the rewards.
Can I chime in on that real quick?
No, you may not. I'm trying to read
the lightsaber bit. Okay, I'll wait.
Not yet.
Right.
Can I finish?
Soon to you.
Go.
All right.
Do it.
Rewards and time. Another point of common feedback was that STR wasn't worth the time. Okay. The plan is to hit this problem from both sides. Faster completion, improved rewards. Overall, we want to reduce the average time it takes to complete the SDR in tiers 1 through 6 and incentivize players to keep trying to reach the next tier. We have 3 changes that should speed things up for most teams. Tier 1 through 6 in all phases reduce the health of Nihilus, Sign, and Treya. This simply reduces the time to complete each stage by decreasing the boss's health pools. Speeding things up helps the raid feel better, but we also felt the rewards were still not enticing enough at this completion rate. Tier 6 and 7 adding Mod Salvage. While Mod Slice coming out, we'll be introducing Mod Salvage as rewards to all ranks. All tiers. Remove some challenge gear from AAT pool. We will finally be addressing the challenge gear concerns by getting rid of some of lower gear that is stacking up in player inventories, which will allow more opportunities to earn better rewards in those boxes. This removal of challenge gear will also apply to AAT rewards. Beyond tiers 1 and 6. To be clear, most of these changes are not impacting heroic. We will still want this to be hard goal to strive towards, and we feel the difficulty of the mechanics in heroic match levels with rewards. Tier 6 will be the challenging stepping stone to heroic, as it will retain the heart and mechanics. We want to get these changes out as soon as possible. We need to take our time testing internally and find the right combinations of changes to alleviate some of the difficulties of lower tiers. We think the changes outlined above will release some of the pain points that diminish your excitement and enthusiasm to participate in the Sith Triumphant Raid. Thank you all again for your feedback and your patience with these changes. There you go. Now, Grim, you may proceed with your analysis, sir.
And
those were deep throats.
I mean,
Rubble.
Yes, very rubble. You know, I can understand them wanting to make it to where you don't have to restart, but the changes they just listed are not going to change that.
What do you mean?
Oh, gee, trails still isolate OG Han all the freaking time. And it doesn't work in freaking heroic.
It's like 8 different factors of RNG you have to take into account for phase 3. So even if they eliminate like 2 of them, I don't mind that. But I hope that whatever solution they're using in order to determine kind of the whole RNG of the lightsabers. And by the way, this is only for tiers 1 through 6.
Yeah.
So it's not affecting heroic. Just make sure you note that there. It's not going to affect heroic. So.
By lowering the damage, you're gonna go
the health
through.
Pool, not the damage.
Yeah. All right. The health. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I think this is really good. I think this has been some of the issues, and we've talked about it here, and they're addressing all of them. I think kudos to CG for doing this. You know, getting rid of the crappy rewards, making it a little bit easier, less time consuming on the players. You know,
they did the same with Tank, didn't they?
No, they've done some things with Tank, but they still haven't gotten rid of some, like, you know, they mentioned in this piece here. That...
Well, no. When we went initially, remember how much hit points and everything the normal AAT had, and then they came out with the update that reduced it. So
yeah, one thing I don't understand is why they didn't reduce the randomness on Trey's lightsabers for tier 7 too.
Because you're an elite player, you should kick that ass, sanely.
No, but
think
of it.
You get in there, you kick that ass, sanely.
All right.
Well, it's not that though, Ranger. So here's one of the things that may happen as a result of it, right? Let's say that for tiers 1 through 6, right? The starting lightsabers each have one of each of the buffs. So one of them has retribution, one of them has foresight, one has advantage, right? Sure. You use, and as they said, that you use tier 6 as a stepping stone, right? In order to practice for tier 7. If they feel like they're ready after doing phase 3 and with that particular setup, right? So you get used to the tier 6. And then you go into heroic, and now you have to deal with the fact that your starting lightsabers can all have retribution. Like that could cause an additional level of frustration, right? Because now you're not practicing on a tier, you're not practicing in a phase that's going to be representative of what you're going to face when you go to heroic.
Well, I think
that too.
I think there's more to it here. I mean, I think what CG's trying to do is, look, there is going to be some randomness in the raid. I mean, that's the part of it in the heroic part. I mean, heroic is heroic, but I mean, let's be honest. We're we're all in guilds that are farming the snot out of it. So it's not that big of a concern if we're farming the snot out of it. I think the biggest problem is that these raids from tier 1 through 6, not only were they impossibly long and just ridiculous, but the rewards were not worth it. So if they can address those things by themselves, by reducing the health pool, making it easier, and making the rewards a little bit better, I'm all for this. I think this is a good move on their part. I mean, it actually shows that they're listening to the community, because this is something we've been saying and all kinds of people have been saying for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
Can I jump in on that?
Yeah, Spartan, go.
Yeah, go ahead, Spartan.
Yeah, because I come from a guild that is not doing the heroic version of it, and we struggle with that at kind of being a mid-range guild around 100 million GP, and we would just sit on tier 4 forever because it wasn't worth it, and we cleared that within 24 hours. So we're just now building up to the 5 and 6 tier on this. So for us, who's in that kind of mid-range, this is fantastic news, because now we're going to be able to get a little further. The guild's going to get better gear and get better rewards. Rewards out of it. So I think it's a helpful way, because I can tell you a lot of people in those medium guilds are just giving up, and they just say, well, we'll just do the tier 4 and we'll clear that in 24 hours and we'll be done with it, because it's just too difficult for the rosters we have. So it's fantastic news for those medium guilds, as far as I'm concerned.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was just my York's in a 95 million GP guild doing tier 5, and I throw him in with Night Sisters pretty much. As soon as I lose one to Annihilate that I can't revive, I slap it on auto. That's me done. I participate by running one squad once and waiting 6 days for it to end. It is that sort of thing. Yeah. And that's where this is very positive.
Yeah, I remember Alchie just losing her mind doing one of those one time where it was like,
oh yeah,
this is a raid that never ends. Hey, Mike. On my brains.
Yeah.
So started playing, not knowing what it was.
I might be.
See, now here's a question.
Oh, Exia.
Am I the only one that noticed that they said they were removing challenge gear from the AAT?
Yes.
Not heroic Sith?
No, both.
Okay.
No, it's both. I think they typoed in the title.
Yeah.
But it's not all challenge gear, only some.
It's the ones that, from what I gather when I read there, is that the stuff that we have like 8,000 pieces of, not the stuff that we don't have, like for instance, like one of those, you need the gold balls, but you've got the other set that you got 4,000 of, but you need the black gold balls to finish it off. So I think they're getting rid of that other crap, because I've gotten that in the A2 rate. That's why I don't even, when I do the A rate, it's just like,
well, you'll still get a shitload of Mark IV Carbontes.
Well, I mean, that's I can't speak on that, but
you'll be like, "Oh, yay!"
It is what it is. But I mean, if they get rid of,
but I think the title is messed up there.
True. But I kind of get the gist of what they're saying.
Well, no, because the last sentence says this removal of challenge gear also applies to AAT rewards. I think the initial kind of bolded section was supposed to say remove some challenge gear from heroic Sith raid pool, or the Sith raid pool, not the AAT pool.
I think it's for both.
It is for both, but I'm saying the last sentence addresses AAT, but everything else is addressing the Sith raid. So I think they just mistitled.
It just says all tiers.
Mistitled the bold part.
The last
it actually says nothing about the Sith raid in the actual paragraph.
Yeah, that's why I was like, And
they're also putting in mod salvage for tier 6 and 7. So yeah,
can I say that might end up backfiring a little bit on them?
Depends on the drop rate of the other stuff in.
Well, so it's not just the drop rate, right? So how they reduce the health of Nihilus and Scion is going to be really critical, because I've said this before, right? So we only started doing heroic Sith in my guild at the beginning of June. And before that, we were doing tier 6. And tier 6, besides the fact that it was slow, right? So let's just say they make it equivalently slow, like if they reduce the health and everything to speed it all up, everything kind of ends up speeding up at almost like the same rate, right? The problem was the rewards from tier 6 were not worth the extra time. And so we did tier 6 in order to kind of unlock heroic, and then we were just doing tier 5 because tier 6 felt like it was going on forever. Now, how they reduce the health of the bosses is going to be kind of critical in here, because what may happen is that if tier 6 still feels like a slog and the rewards don't seem worth it, right? Just outside of the salvage, if the rewards don't seem worth it, then people would prefer to do tier 5 instead. But if you're putting mod salvage in there, then you're going to make it so that people are almost forced to do tier 6. And if they're forced to go through the slog, you're actually going to make them resent it a little bit more. So it's just something to be kind of careful about there. Because if you're forcing them to do tier 6 for something that you can't get anywhere else and it's going to take forever to clear it, you're going to increase frustration. Because, I mean, we had that. When we were doing tier 6.
I don't know how it can be worse than it is now if they reduce the health of these mobs.
And that's what I'm saying. How they reduce it and how quickly tier 6 goes by, I think, is going to be critical. And, I mean, Spartan, you can comment on it because you're kind of leading up to that. But when you get into those raids where it feels like it's never ending, I mean, it can get frustrating for you and your guild, right?
Yeah, it definitely can. But I think to be honest, we just finished 4. We do that no problem. We just tested on tier 5 and no problem in there. Now in 6, we seem to be similar. It seems like there's not a big jump from tier 5 to tier 6. So if it's scaled appropriately, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. But I think the fact that you're going to be able to get those rewards on there, I think it's going to be probably worth it to make sure. And I think it's, I mean, like everything else, like we mentioned the heroic tank, or the tank back in the days, that thing was a monster, and no one, people lost interest in it. And I think that's what we're seeing with the Sith raid. Guilds are losing interest in it, and so they got to do something. And this could just be the start. And like anything else, they seem like they're, from being on the inside, the EA Game Changer program, and watching the comments through chat and listening to all the big names like Arnold and Mobile Gamer and Warrior and everybody chime in on these things and giving input on what they should be doing. CG is very open, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But that's, you got to, at least they're doing something, and that's important than doing nothing. So maybe it works. Maybe it still needs some tweaking some more, but it's a step in the right direction, because we all know, just like we mentioned earlier, it's something has to change.
Kill anyone.
Also end up being a double-edged sword there. They, what if they make it to where it's too easy?
Well,
and people end up going in thinking they can do heroic now, since tier 6 was so easy, and they end up wasting all those tickets trying it out,
No, I don't think so, because, I mean, that's just something you're going to have to gauge anyway. But, I mean, listen, if you can do phase 3, I think Ronnie said it, you can do knockout phase 3 and tier 6 in a day, you're more than easy to handle the heroic portion.
Yeah. Assuming it depends on how you're killing phase 1,
right?
Because there are some teams that you can use in phase 1, and the lower ones that you can't use in heroic.
Sure,
so.
But I mean, and overall, I mean, there's ways to judge that, and with them making it a little bit easier for these guilds, hey, hats off. I mean, they'll probably just been tweaking and stuff, and I think we'll be a little bit patient. But I mean, the fact that they're going in this direction to try to help
I love that.
Players, is
I love the direction they're going.
Yes,
for sure.
I give them mad props for this. Will there be some little bit of growing pains? Yeah, we just have to be a little patient, because it's going to take some testing and stuff like that. But the fact that they're listening, that's a positive sign for me. Eric Seymour just donated $5, and he said, "Did you guys buy the Gear 12 Plus packs? I did, and I'm curious your guys' take on it." Not buying it, never going to buy it. I have no intentions of buying it. Mike, you're a well.
It's worth it. It is worth the purchase, but I haven't bought it because I don't spend. I'm free to play. So.
Well, then it's not worth
I
it,
still follow my bestest buddy in the whole freaking universe,
Warrior?
Urban Blaster.
You talking Urban Blaster?
Shit.
Yeah, but they are in my opinion, they're a really good purchase. So, what do you think, Spartan? I think they're a good purchase for people if they want to spend. Obviously, it's expensive, but I think it's worth it.
I think the people. I think you gotta in this game. You gotta entice the high end and the low end, and obviously the counts that are buying the vaults are going to be buying this with no problem,
right?
Because at some point you get to a point where where's the value? I can keep buying these vaults, but here's now another option that's actually less. And to me, I think it's going to be a no-brainer for a guy who buys a vault or two a month. They're going to pick those up like crazy. If you're free to play and you spend $20 a month or $5 here and there, you're probably not going to pick it up. I'm not going to pick it up because that's not where I'm at. But somewhere down the line, maybe one or two here or there. But I think it's great for those those characters that do spend it. And I always thank the guys who buy a vault or two a month, or 3 vaults a month, or 4 vaults, and buy those things. Hey, thanks for making the game free to play for a lot of us.
That's right.
Can't.
Yeah.
Can I say this was a super clever way of getting people to buy things? Because if you kind of
So your patient
so if you
saying,
look at the way,
Dr. Finn ate too much Twinkies and now I had a stroke. What do you want to do?
Well, I know
if
Team
you
Money
look at
bought
the way
both
that
packs.
they marketed this, though, think of what they did with Gear 12, right? So out of all the Gear 12 pieces, right, none of them had speed until they introduced Gear 12 Plus. Gear 12 Plus combined give you a total of 12 speed, right? Which for people that are competitive in Arena, which are probably the people, whether you're free to play or not, I mean, you're looking for the competitive people that may end up spending some money in the game. So 12 speed makes a big difference in Arena the more competitive you are. And then they make it so the only way to get it is in the Heroic Sith raid, right? So now you have to be in a Heroic Sith guild. Not to mention that even if you're in a Heroic Sith guild, you have to be in the top 10 to really get them at a rate that's going to really help you. So now you've added all of those different factors, and then they're like, okay, so here are these pieces that are awesome. You're going to want them for your Arena team, and there's no other way to get it except for Heroic Sith. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're going to sell 4 of them for about $100.
We're buffering.
We're buffering, Ranger.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why it's buffering? Like Warrior has
There we go.
spoke on that.
Wait,
Like
Let me look. It's shit.
It like keeps on clearing up, but I think it's okay
It's
now.
not buffering for me.
I'm looking.
It
we
was,
know
but it
Warrior
stopped
spoke
now.
on that too.
It's hiccuping a little bit, but the speed's okay.
It looks like it's okay now. It seems steady. Yeah, I think it's good now.
Okay. I'll keep looking.
But yeah, so essentially they made it so they've made this really awesome piece. They've made it rare. You have to be you have to make it kind of conditional, right, on how you're getting it. And then they put out this pack where you can buy it. And I think it's a really good purchase considering the rarity that's involved with the actual item. I mean, that 12 speed, if you're really competitive, and even if you spend a little bit or a lot, like that 12 speed can make a difference in Arena. It can be the difference between your Enfys going first or the opposing Enfys going first, your Thrawn going first or the opposing Thrawn going first. I mean, it can make a big difference, and I think it's a really clever marketing point. I'm kind of expecting them to make a lot of money off of this pack and provide me to play free to play for a long while with this.
Well, it's kind of like Warrior was talking about in his guild, which he loves, but he doesn't compete in the raids a lot, and they're finished so fast he doesn't have a chance to get in. He never gets top 10, so he doesn't get the Gear 12 pieces. This is stuff that at least he's able to buy and still stay competitive, because he was complaining about he wasn't able to stay competitive at the top of his arena because his shard mates are finishing top 10 compared to him. So it said it's making him fall behind.
I don't know why it keeps on. Yeah, it's buffering pretty regularly right now. Weird.
It's doing just fine for me. Oh wait, there it goes.
It's just slightly. I'm seeing it too, just slightly.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought you yelled at Comcast.
They didn't have any answers for me.
I think we did. I think we need to get another rant on it.
Well, once we get the new get up, I don't have to worry about this.
Yeah, once you get the new computer and everything, it'll be better. So. But yeah, and I mean,
we're still buffering, guys. It's still.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Let's give it a minute here. Let's not even attempt to talk. So see full green.
So I'm happy about the mod salvage coming in. Anybody else, real quick, while it's buffering?
Absolutely, I think that's awesome.
Oh man.
Well,
I think it's a good idea.
I think it depends on how they distribute
I'm not
the
happy
mod
about the mod salvage. Sorry.
I've heard that.
Oh really?
From you.
So what is about the mod salvage you don't like in particular? Is there anything?
Ranger hates this whole slicing concept.
Yeah. First of all, it's like
outside
of all,
of 6E.
Right. So Here's the thing that does not make sense to me. We're going to create slicing, but then we're taking mods to 6E.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most ass backwards thing I've ever heard. It's like, okay, so now all the mods that are not gold that I have to slice, even though they're right now 5, they're 15, level 15, 5, they're gold mods. They're going to go back to the original form, and then I have to farm stuff to take them to 6E? Really?
Well, just wait until they do 7E.
Why is this thing buffering so much?
I've told you to wait.
I know.
Yeah, but at least the stats are going up with each slice, though, right?
But,
or a stat.
No, it's actually not good that they're doing that. It devalues the work that a lot of people put into getting gold mods right now.
And you can't slice gold mods. They can just take them to 6E, which is fine if you need salvage.
I think the reason is for back-end Ranger more than anything. And I think you know that.
Yeah, but it hoses a lot of us,
game,
people that
because of the back-end.
I've invested a fortune in mods. And the fact that my gold mods, other than taking them to 6E, which I'm cool with, the fact that you got to have salvage take them to 6E, okay, cool. But this other crap where mods that are purple or blue, I have to get salvage to take them and slice them, and then I have to do salvage again to get them. No, just ridiculous. It's too many sets. It's too convoluted, and it doesn't really help you in the long term. I think it's a bad move, and I don't know who told them to do that, but it's dumb.
That makes sense, though. I mean, good points.
Well, isn't it also that those purple and blue mods can have better stats than your gold one only by slicing them?
They don't get better. They get the same chance of getting the same, but I mean...
know. It's like...
Oh, okay.
They can't get better. So there's a difference, right? So you have a better chance of getting the good stats, but all the mods have the same chance of getting... same highest possibility of stats. So it's not like a purple can suddenly get to 32 speed or something, and your gold can only get to 30.
Well, let's on the mod scenario anyways, we're still in beta right now, so it's still early to say exactly what's going to happen. They're still testing that, and it doesn't appear that it's coming anytime. They keep saying soon, but it's still not looking like it. We're getting the pop-ups in game for it, but I still think we're a little bit of ways away from it because we haven't even got it. Yeah, we haven't even got it in the game changer builds. We're not even so. Only people who are testing it right now are the beta testers. So we're still a little ways away because I haven't even touched it yet.
So here's the other thing, though. We have to be good.
Okay, I think we're solid again, guys, on the stream. So
I was just going to ask about the beta testers. I know they say they use some of the top guilds. Are they actually
actively beta testers, and that's all we can say.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Like, do they use actively participate in guild as beta testers?
Cannot tell you a thing about the program, brother.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's called NDA.
Right.
Yeah.
Am I
non-disclosure agreement?
Chrome, am I active?
Yeah.
Can we get to the actual questions?
No.
He's insanely trying to get us back on track because there's a bunch of questions in the chat.
All right, let's get to the questions. All right, sure. So we'll get to these topics as we get to the questions and stuff. So. But yeah, it looks like we're solid now on the stream. Okay, let's rock and roll. Take it away, Saintly.
Chewy, question: do you think the devs will either release the mod updates today at 4:50 p.m. PST or a future Friday at the same time?
No.
No, I don't think they're gonna do the Friday thing anymore.
Nah, they'll drop it Sunday morning.
JLY9 question: I'm about to complete the Gear 12 Plus Mark 12 Armatech Fusion Furnace that gives 6,500 health and 6 speed. Whom should I give it to? BB-8, Townsend, crew, First Order officer, or First Order stormtrooper? I am leaning crew.
Well, crew's a good one. If none of it's for your PvP team, then I'd say crew because that's a really good one to give to.
Oh yeah.
Captain Obvious question: can we thank God it's Friday? Thank God it's Friday.
Hey, thank God it's Friday.
TGI F and F.
Thank God it's Friday.
What the hell is Friday?
It's a day in the week, Finn. I know you're a communist, but that's besides the point.
Is it a day that I'm supposed to buy French fries?
No.
Yes.
Can I buy French fries?
No.
Well, actually, every day is a day to buy French fries.
All right.
That's a true statement. I can't argue with that.
To Chick-fil-A I go after Spartan stream. Okay, next question.
Oh, Chick-fil-A fries.
Question: how do I mod First Order for Phase 2 of the Sith raid? I use the same First Order team as Ranger.
How do you mod them?
You mod them with mods.
I mean, they're just like any other character. I mean, your damage dealers, you want a lot of crit chance on your hitters, right? Because the more you're critting, the more turn meter you're getting. So things like Kylo Ren, First Order Officer, those kind of things, you want crit chance. Crew is different in the sense, crew and First Order, you want defense, tenacity, because they're going to be doing their thing where they counter and stuff. So you want them to be resisting a lot of the debuffs and stuff. Defense, health, protection, tenacity is always good on those guys. Executioner, high speed, high offense, high health, because Executioner gets his damage production from his health. The more health he has, the more Kassan chopping he's doing, the more damage you're doing. So that kind of gives you a gist of what you need to be focusing on. But like some of the other guys, crit chance, your tanks you want to be resisting and counter chancing, and then Executioner doing his thing.
Jade Bellel. Question: I'm running a squad with Gear 11 Nihilus Lead, Gear 12 Vader, Gear 10 Palpatine, Gear 10 Tarkin, Gear 11 Stormtrooper Han. What's my Zeta priority?
Yes.
Good answer.
Not helpful at all. Okay. What are the characters again, Sanely?
Nihilus, Vader, Palpatine, Tarkin, Stormtrooper Han.
I mean, Palpatine lead is the one you need.
Right.
Assuming he's meaning lead and not unique.
No, he's using Nihilus as lead.
Switch to Palpatine lead and Zeta's him.
Yes. Good lord.
Wow, somebody actually uses Nihilus lead.
I'm hoping he didn't Zeta Nihilus's lead.
Well, some people have. I mean, with the back in the day, that was kind of something that was done. So I don't have a problem with that. But it ain't Stormtrooper Han. I can tell you that much. You can just throw him off the board. Yeah, I kind of like Palpatine lead if you haven't done it. I mean, it's a really good Zeta.
Next question.
Mr. Pennypinch, question for Finn. Want to send you a present now. What can I get you that you don't already have on your Amazon list?
Hookers and blow.
Krispy Kreme donuts. That's his form of blow.
That's true. Krispy Kreme donuts. Actually, just get me a whole Krispy Kreme franchise somewhere nearby.
No, Finn.
A lifetime supply of Chick-fil-A fries.
Off the belt.
Chick-fil-A or Krispy Kremes.
No, a Krispy Kreme here that I could get right off the belt. That would be awesome.
Well, there's no one near you. You're not going to be able to get a franchise.
Finn. Pennypinch asked.
Finn.
Open up a Krispy Kreme in the West Palm Beach, Florida area. There you go.
That. No, he's not doing that, Finn.
He gave me low limitations on the suggestion.
Just give him like $50 worth of Krispy Kreme donuts. Trust me, he'll be feeding his face and be happy. He won't even know there's not a franchise there.
Possibly.
No, that's science.
We have to test it.
Oh, I love getting my 2 Zetas for this event. Yay. Someone said that they have a problem with that. I just went in with my Night Sisters to check this out. Bonus tier, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's the other event. I don't know what's going on.
No, I had some issues with it too.
Really?
I just kept getting his health back, and you cannot annihilate him. Well, you can, but it does like barely any damage.
I just went in there with a good old Night Sister team and just wrecked it.
I put it on auto and didn't pay attention.
And then I was able to beat it. The death mark was crucial.
I don't know. I just went in there and...
I put it on auto and then left and came back and I had 3 Zetas, so I wasn't really paying attention.
I only got 2.
Yeah, I got 3 Zetas too.
Next question.
Deliasen, should there be a rule about GP limit on roster reviews?
No. Everyone has something different, right? So part of it is also for people to see how people with more developed rosters have done. And then the other part is if you're at that level, because there's people that have the high GPs, they're focusing on different things than somebody lower. So we have all comers.
Yeah, we don't... Listen, you can learn a lot from someone that has a low level.
All comers?
All comers.
All comers. All comers.
Oh
All
boy.
comers.
Like we've had one or two who've been high
Oh,
GP.
boy.
They've been more collectors, but then they got serious and competitive, and they've never been competitive, not knowing what they had.
Yeah, everybody's roster is different, and they're different things, and they can have way high GP, but could be all over the map and not focused, right? There's all different kinds of scenarios that we run into all the time, and I think if you pay attention when we do roster reviews, some of the things that we say consistently, and it gives you an idea when we're doing someone else's roster what you need to be doing for your roster, right? If we're looking at a low-level roster and you're at the same spot, you need to be listening to what we're saying. If we're at the higher end, they're looking for territory wars and heroic Sith, you need to be listening to what we're saying. So it gives you kind of an idea. You can compare your roster with what we're looking at on the screen and say, you know what? I'm not doing that. Maybe I need to do that.
Yeah, because they're not necessarily for the people getting the roster reviews. They're for everybody.
Yeah, it's specifically for the person. We're all about focusing people in, but it also is for the community when they're watching it to go, I hadn't.
Next question for Spartan.
Okay.
Well, the most common thing that we end up running into is, oh my God, look at those mods. Oh.
And Grande dies a little bit on the
right
outside.
Characters. Oh, Jesus.
Find a good one for Spartan, Sanely.
Okay, Neo Venom 3. Question, Spartan, have you told RSG about the Zeta wheel and the agony of some of the Zetas you have done?
What is this?
I don't know if you guys know about my Zeta wheel on Twitch. All right, so I've created probably the worst possible thing you could do as you guys talk about great roster reviews is we have a thing on Twitch called the Zeta wheel. And whenever we get to 20 Zetas, we do a thing called the Zeta wheel. And that is where chat gets to decide what I Zeta next.
What?
And we do... And that is, that's... and there is some agony.
Why? Why?
What you're saying is we should start trolling your Twitch.
Yeah, and well, it's a lot of fun. But the last two times, let's see, I now have a Zeta Rose and a Clone Wars Chewie.
No!
Oh
God!
Be a Chewie or not? I was
Okay,
going to
so-
say Chewie.
Oh my God! Oh God!
You can use Clone Wars Chewie.
No,
I'll put this out there.
God.
Clone Wars Chewie you can use in Phase 2 as a tank
Oh
with
my
the
God. Oh,
the
God.
Akbar Leia team. He is a really good tank in that team. So since you already have him, I wouldn't recommend it.
Jesus.
But since you have him, you can find a good use for him.
Sweet Jesus.
I haven't found use for Rose yet,
God.
but there's some
Rose
Rose
possibility.
is good on a Zeta Finn
Oh,
team,
God.
but you have to get somebody to vote for
I
Zeta
just-
Finn apparently.
Well,
To use.
I have a lot of other great
Jesus,
Zetas,
God.
and we've had some good ones too. I mean,
Oh,
those have been the
God.
last two, but we've had Nihilus, and we've had
Oh,
Throns,
my
and we've
God.
had BB-8s, and all kinds of stuff. So CLS and everything
sweet.
else. So we have a lot of fun with it. So,
Sweet God.
but
as long as
yeah,
that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
It's not,
eventually you're gonna Zeta everyone, right? If you play long enough, that's the
No.
way. I kinda have to look at it.
No, that's wrong.
Nice try, but no,
No.
they're creating more Zetas than they are ways to get Zeta mats.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
You're actually falling behind the max every single day.
Maybe with
What's
the
next?
resurrection of the Clone Wars series, we'll see a rework of Clone Wars Chewbacca, and then you won't feel so bad.
That is exactly what I'm hoping for.
Oh my God.
Next question.
Chewy question. The forum post is actually awesome, and it makes me want to applaud CG for finally listening to everyone on the raid. How long do you think it'll be until it actually gets fixed?
I don't care how long it takes as long as it's done right.
Right. I mean, just be patient with it because it's very. I know for a fact that it's very involved. So, I mean, it's coming, down the pipe. But let's just be a little patient with it. And I think they're at that last stage where it's about testing, retesting, seeing where stuff's at, what's working, what's not working. So let's give them a little more time on that. But the fact that they're announcing it gives you a time that it's coming soon, TM. But let's wait and see.
I agree. Massive props to the devs for actually listening this time around.
They always listen.
Well, yeah,
they do.
They don't.
They don't listen when I'm ranting because they just want to find me and punch me in the face. But then they know I'm.
Carrie said she listens, and you made her cringe and almost cry.
Finn, we weren't going to talk about that. You're a dick.
What?
This is why we can't have nice things.
It's true. She said it on the stream.
Oh, that's true. Never mind.
She said it in the video.
I know she did. she thought I was cute.
She did. She laughs at your reindeer rants. She finds them funny.
I know.
Next question.
Chewy. Chewy, question, when do you think they'll release the remainder of the solo tunes into farmable nodes?
Soon, TM.
Yeah, no idea. Nobody here knows when they're doing that.
No clue, man. I'm hoping soon because I really want to farm the crap out of L3 and Lando.
Word?
So I can finish their ship.
Yeah, I'm already working on Young Han and Kira, so it's like, okay.
Probably be around the end of the month. Ski Trooper, question, Mace Territory War Timeout Fleet start with Rex 5s and 1 reinforcement. Plo, Clone Sergeant +2. Who are some good candidates for the 1 and the 2?
Ahsoka being one.
Wait, what was the starting lineup? I heard Rex and 5s.
Yeah, he's wondering who he should put with Rex and 5s for the starting lineup, and with the reinforcements he has Plo and Clone Sergeant. Who should the other 2 be?
Gotcha.
Jedi
Consular in the starting lineup, and then you can bring in a Biggs off the bench for another tank. If you want to keep Biggs on offense, you can put in a target lock. Phantom and Ghost work well because they do the. You can get some more target locks. It's a little bit weird. You can save it for offense instead on home 1 instead. But just, I mean, those are enough. Those 5 end up being such a timeout team. Then throw in something tanky and annoying. Throw in a Kylo's command shuttle just to piss people off. And this TIE Slicer. There you
go. Shields Ghost, question, I plan on buying the 2 Gear 12 Plus packs. Which tunes do you guys recommend placing them on? I already have one on Grandmaster Yoda.
Well, arena team first. If you can get some pieces that will help your arena team, then obviously that's your first choice. And then after that, it's based off, territory wars, territory battles. Who you want to focus them in on? Because sometimes the pieces limit you on which characters you can do them on. But if you can go arena first, always go arena. If not, then I would look at maybe some of the teams you use on defense or offense that could really push you over the edge with your speed and stuff like that.
Let's do 2 more questions, and we'll give them both to Spartan.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Scooby, question, is it worth refreshing the Talzin event?
That's to me, it's not. But what if you're sitting on a crap ton of gems, and then go for it. But I don't necessarily think it is unless you're at that point where you're just about ready to max out.
Yeah,
it's not typically.
It's a really bad value right now.
Yeah, it's not a great value. Most of the time, those aren't worth the refresh. I mean, your normal nodes, those are always worth refreshes, as far as I'm concerned. Multiple times, but not the events usually.
It was before she became free to play.
Yeah.
Because from shipments, you get 1,000 for 80 crystals per shard. From the event, if you refresh, you get it for 78 crystals per shard. But now you can refresh her hard node 1 time a day, and you can get a shard for less than 50 crystals a shard. So refreshing our hard node is a better value than actually refreshing that event.
Science.
One more question.
Chewy, question. Oh yeah, WTF, how did Dooku survive Annihilate in the bonus tier? Of the event today. Talzin event.
You know the answer, Spartan? Because it's a really simple one.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. It was for me? I thought it was for... Oh, Chewy was the guy who was asking it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I did not see that. I don't know the answer to that.
He absorbed the power of the Night Sister table.
Oh, there you go.
That's why.
No, because Dooku is just that badass.
Yeah.
Dooku and the table. Resisting Annihilate since 2017.
That's science. Can't argue with science. All right, so that's all the time we have today. We're getting ready to switch over, guys. We're going over to Spartan's channel here in about 30 minutes, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. That's what, 10:30 Pacific time, California time, Western time, whatever you want to call it. So go ahead and flip over and help support him, and we'll have another live stream we'll be doing over at his channel. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you subscribe to each of the channels. Make sure you give us a thumbs up on our videos. If you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do. Now remember, tomorrow we also have the Jedi Academy from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. where we answer all your Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes questions. We have people like Remon, Warrior, T-Money. We bring a whole cast of crew and then sprinkle in a little bit of mental damage from RSG to help it all along. And then tomorrow night we'll have the RSG Mature channel where we will answer all of your... we aren't going to answer anything. We're just going to get drunk and have fun. What am I talking about? And then Friday... And then Sunday we have the D&D game, the D&D game that we're running, the campaign, and that'll be from 5 p.m. to about 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern for Sunday. So I think that covers all our bases. Get ready to flip over to the flip side and check out Spartan as we go over to his channel. So on behalf of myself and the crew, thanks for Spartan for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.